Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
Welcome to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and this is our live show that we do every Wednesday, and it is broadcast out over YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So whatever your favorite social media platform is that you like to watch, please either follow us, like our page, do whatever you got to do to know that we went live. Or if you want to interact and you want to make sure that you don't miss it, you can ask your questions. I'm going to read them out loud. I'm going to answer them for you. Then make sure that you do opt yourself in and text the word MOM to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. That will make sure that you do not miss a single episode if you want to watch, follow along, ask your questions, and get interactive with us. Now, the telephone number to call the office and to get yourself an appointment to speak with me or any of the girls on my team is the exact same phone number. So we try to keep everything as easy as possible. So that number, once again, is 844-935-3634. So what is Mortgage Mom Radio? What are we doing every week here Wednesdays live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch? Well, we are giving you guys all of the education and information that you need about all things real estate and mortgage. So last week I had Heather on and she was talking about the Mortgage Mom deal. So we'll touch base again on that a little bit. A couple weeks back, I was talking about the market, what I felt that 2023 was going to bring to us as far as where are interest rates going by the end of the year, where are property values going by the end of the year, should you be thinking about purchasing a home right now, should you be getting off of the fence and into the application process if that has been a goal of yours. And the answer in that question a couple of weeks back was yes, you should, yes, you should, yes, you should. And I did say that, you know, what I could see from all of the articles that I was reading, all of the analytics that have been coming out, all of the information that is being provided to us is that we went through a sleeper mode. Everybody kind of calmed down. Interest rates more than doubled in 1 year. And buyers said, forget it. I'm not buying right now. Put plans on hold. Sellers said, forget it. We're not selling. It would be more expensive to sell our home and then go try to move. And so everything kind of came to a stalemate. And we are starting to see things move. I did mention that last week with Heather, and we'll go through that Mortgage Mom deal again. But we did talk a lot about that over the last couple of weeks of why I feel that it is so important to get yourself off that fence and get yourself started. And I did say that you want to try to get started before the tides turn. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information, things that I read this week, and tell you once again why I feel like right now is a really good time for you guys to get those applications in and started. But first, I do just want to remind everybody it's interactive. Let me know you're here. Say something in the feed. Ask me a question. The more interactive that this show is, the more fun that it is, the more educational that it is. It gives you all of the information that you need. And there is a very good chance that if you have the question and you are brave enough to ask it, that there are many, many other people that have that same question, that you are getting them the answer that they need to hear. So please don't be afraid. Please jump in. Please be part of the show. show. So I do want to let you know that Heather jumps on. She says, hi, everyone. Heather, thanks so much for joining. Claudia jumps on, says, hello. I love getting the alerts via text. I click that link as soon as I get it. Claudia, I love that. Thank you so much for following along and joining. I do have to say, I absolutely love YouTube. That is why I'm on it. That's why I do this show. I think it's a fantastic platform. I do myself personally subscribe to many channels, and I find that I don't really, if my phone is off or not with me, or even just closed screen sitting on the table next to me, I'm not getting those notifications when those shows start. Even though they say if you turn your notifications to all, you're going to know when the channel goes live. So the best way to know that we went live, to not miss a beat and to never miss it, is to text that number, because you will, like Claudia mentioned, you will get that text message to let you know that we have started. We are live right now, and you can click that link and you can join in. So once again, I urge everybody that's listening to the show, especially at a later date, that wants to get in the middle and wants to be part of it, to make sure that you text the word mom. Just mom. No other words, no opt-in, no nothing. Just mom. Text the word mom to 844-935-3634. So Heidi says, I don't get them either. So she's agreeing with me. I just don't get them. I don't know why. Shazette gets on and says, I am happy. I am off today to jump in here. We love to see you, Shazette. Thank you so much for joining. Please ask your questions if you have any. Happy to answer them for you. Alberto gets on, says, hi there. How's the multifamily property market in LA? I don't see many new listings. So, the multifamily properties are always very desirable. They're fantastic for first-time buyers who want to live in one unit and rent out the others to help with the cost of the property, and it keeps their prices down. It's also really great, obviously, for investors. Instead of having all of your money in one property where if that tenant doesn't pay you, then you're just completely out. When you have units and you're collecting rent from multiple parties, then let's say that you have a 4-unit and one person doesn't pay you, then you have the other 3 units to carry you. It's also great when you go to renovate. If you decide that you want to start to renovate those multiple family properties, you can vacate one when one of your renters moves out. You can remodel that unit. And then when that unit is done, then you can do the next when the next tenant moves out, and so on. So those are very, very desirable to get into those units. I absolutely love them. They do offer FHA financing for an owner-occupied property. You could get in with as little as 3.5% down if you're going to owner occupy. So it's really a fantastic market. And, with where interest rates are going these days, a lot of those investors don't want to let go of the monthly payments and the rents that they have coming in, the cash flow. So they are difficult to find. I did mention in my last couple of shows that, we've got a lot of people, homeowners, and even investors that own property right now who have interest rates that are very, very low. And it just doesn't make sense for them to sell and to move their money over into something bigger or better, whether that be owner occupied or an investment. So many people, many homeowners are sticking tight. They're holding tight. They're not listing, which is keeping inventory low, and something really desirable like those units you're going to see even less of. So if you are interested in purchasing something like that, definitely make sure that you've got yourself a real estate agent who has you on a drip system, letting you know, alerting you every single time that a new one does come available, so that you can get on it as fast as possible. So that would be my recommendation for your question, but please keep them coming. If I didn't answer something that you were looking for, please don't hesitate to ask again. I can see that Deborah jumps on. She says, good afternoon. Deborah, thank you so much for joining us. My dad did get engaged last week, and Debbie is going to be my new stepmom someday. So very, very excited about that. Congratulations, Debbie and Dad. Love that you jump on here and that you watch. Tom asks, so thank you so much, Tom, for joining us. You are one of our past clients. We love you. He says, I get them sometimes. Would be great if you could stream on Rumble also. Hey, Tom, I don't even know anything about Rumble, but because you just suggested that, I will absolutely look at that platform and see if that is something that we can integrate the way that we do the streaming right now. So certainly, I will definitely double check that. Mikey sitting back there behind the computer, write down Rumble so that we can take a look and see if that is something we can make happen. Anna gets on and she says, I am so glad I am off too. Jumped in. Please DM me. I found a house ready. Anna, I love that. I know that you are working with Heather currently. Heather has been helping to get you pre-approved in Missouri. And this is a great way for me to remind everybody that we are licensed in numerous states. So if there is somewhere that you are looking to relocate to or where you live, just because my butt is in California, does not mean that we could not be of assistance. So definitely reach out if you are looking, no matter where it is that you are looking. And if we cannot help you, we will make sure that we let you know who we would recommend that you call. Heidi says, what? ? Yes, Dad got engaged. We'll have that conversation later. And she says, oh my God, Heidi, I didn't know either. So that was Heather. Heather didn't know Dad got engaged either. Heidi says, go Dad. Love that. And Heather says, Anna, check your email. So Anna, again, thank you so much for letting us know that you found a home and you are ready. And while we were doing this, within 2 minutes, Heather has already reached out to you to make sure that you guys do connect. So make sure you guys do that. Again, this is an interactive show. I want to remind everybody that even though I'm Debbie Marcoux, I'm the mortgage mom, this show is running, streaming. You guys are watching it. It is on radio. I am still very, very in touch with everything happening within my office. We are still a very small group. It is me, Heather, Heidi, Carrie, and Jenny. We've got Manny that is also helping us as well. Mikey that's doing the actual production of the show. Drew who edits our show for us. But that is it. That is our entire team. So if there is a loan that comes through the door, whether or not you have actually talked to me, I know who you are. I know your file. I am very familiar, very aware. So I do want to make sure that you know that it is personal treatment. If you call our office, we are taking care of you. I promise that. Our hope is that by me giving this education, this information, and getting it out there to everywhere, that in turn that you guys do want to turn around and you want to work with us and with our team. And so that is our goal. This is my way of doing marketing. I'm not going to get on the radio and I'm not going to spit out interest rates that don't exist. I'm not going to yell, call now. I want to educate you guys to be in a better place when you are ready to buy, or in a better place when you need to do that refinance, you need to do that cash out, whatever it is that might be happening for you. Our goal is to make sure that you are educated, knowledgeable, and ready. So in turn, I hope that by us doing that for you, that you feel confident and comfortable in working with us and my team. So with that, I'm going to take a super quick break. And when we get back, we're going to jump into a couple of things that I mentioned. Number one, I want to say that the question by Alberto was very good because he asked about units and investment. And so I'm going to actually talk today a little bit about how we get to investment property interest rates, because that is something that I don't think that people really understand how it works. So I do want to make sure that you guys do understand how it works, where interest rates are at for investment property loans right now. And then I also want to kind of get back to why I think you guys need to get off the fence, get those applications submitted, and get yourself pre-approved right now, not waiting, no longer. If you've been on the fence, this is the time to pull the trigger and get yourself reactivated. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Hi, this is Debbie Marcoux, host of the Mortgage Mom Radio Show. And as you know, I'm always trying to make sure that my listeners are saving a buck. Well, there's a new store in town. It's called Runaway Soul. You can go to their website, runawaysoul.com. What do they carry? Well, they carry all of those hard-to-find sneakers, Nikes, Jordans, Adidas, as well as hats. So if you're a sports fanatic and you love those baseball hats, check out their team hats that they have online. And they're also carrying collectibles. So Hot Wheels, Legos, Funko Pops, you name it, they've probably got it. So go to their website, check them out at runawaysoul.com.
She's the mortgage mom.
Hi, this is Debbie Marcoux, the mortgage mom. Did you know that interest rates are down and home prices are up? Well, this is a great time to consolidate that first mortgage that you have with that home equity line of credit or second mortgage that you might have outstanding. If you want to know more, you want to know what that might look like, you want to know what those payments might be, what kind of interest rate can we get you, well, give us a call. You can reach us at 844-935-3634. Or hey, go to our website, mortgagemomradio.com.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lender Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida 76508, Georgia 69178, Illinois 031.0058339, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington 237926.
All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and we are bringing you guys all of the information you could possibly need every single week. Always live on Wednesday, usually around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Today, I was a little bit late. Like I said in the past, sometimes things come up that we just get started a little bit late. So the best way for you to know when we go live is to text the word MOM to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. So again, I want to remind everybody this is an interactive show. You guys are watching me do this live so you can hear me do the stumbles. We take the show, we take the sound, we send it to podcast, send it to radio at the end of the show. But if you want to see it live, you want to interact, you want to ask your questions, and you want to be part of it, you have to know that we're live and you got to jump on during the show. So make sure that you do opt yourself in to get that text message once a week. And it is only one text message. I promise I do not spam you, do not send you crazy amount of information. I don't ask you questions. I don't send you application links. You get one text message per week letting you know that the show is live so that if you are available, like Shazette mentioned, Anna mentioned, they just happened to get that link and they jumped right on. Claudia mentioned the same thing. It gives you that opportunity to get in and get interactive. So please ask your questions, put them into the feed. I'm going to read them out loud. I'm going to answer them for you. So before the break, I did mention that I wanted to talk about why you guys should be getting off of the fence, and you should be getting those pre-approval applications submitted, and you should not be waiting. You should literally be calling us right now today to get that application submitted for your pre-approval if you've been looking to buy. Now, last week, Heather and I talked about the Mortgage Mom Radio deal. So let's kind of go over that one more time. But if you want to truly know everything about it, you can go back to YouTube, you can go back to the podcast, and you can re-listen to that show from last week where she gets into all of the nitty-gritty about what she's doing. But Heather is a licensed real estate agent, meaning that if you are in a state not in California, she can refer you to a real estate agent in another state so that they can actually help you with your purchase. In turn, she has promised to forego all of the referral fee that she receives for referring you to that agent, and instead making sure that that credit goes back to you towards your closing costs, which you can in turn use to either pay closing costs or use the additional funds to buy down your interest rate. So where the feds say, hey, we're raising rates, my team's saying, well, too bad, because we're going to buy them down. On top of that, Mortgage Mom Radio is going to buy down the interest rate. Well, we're not going to buy down the interest rate. We are going to let you choose. We are going to give you a 1% credit. That is 1% of your loan amount. We are going to give you that credit to apply towards closing costs. So you can choose to use that money towards buying that interest rate down, or you can use it to apply towards your actual closing costs. But we are going to give you a 1% credit as well. We also talked about helping our clients with refinancing. So if you purchase a home today and interest rates do drop down the road in a year and 2 years, whenever that is that may come to play, if you are a Mortgage Mom Radio client, we did your purchase transaction for you, or we did your refinance for you. We are going to do a no-fee refinance for you again in the future. So you get to buy now, you get to take our credit, you get to buy your rate down if you'd like, Get the rate as low as you possibly can for affordability. And then when interest rates drop, then you can go ahead and refinance with us again at no cost to you. So I wanted to make sure that we did talk about that. But if you want all the nitty gritty, all the dirt and details, please make sure that you listen to last week's show. You can find it on YouTube. Just go back to last week, watch last week's show. You can go to podcast. We're everywhere. Wherever you'd find a podcast, we're there. And you can listen to the show from last week as well to get all of the details. If you're selling your home in order to buy another home, and you do call and you do talk to Heather and you are in Southern California and she can help you with the sale of your property, she's also going to give you a 1% discount on your commissions, and she is going to give you that 1% from her on your purchase to apply towards the buy down or the closing costs. So you could, in reality, if you were buying your home, working with Heather, working with me, Heidi, or Carrie for the loan, you could, in essence, end up with 2% in credit, selling your home 3% in credit. So we are doing everything that we absolutely can as a team to try to help you guys make this affordable during the times right now where things are rough. But with all of that, putting that to the side, as we were talking about why we think that you should be getting off the fence and getting pre-approved right now, it's because we see the tides turning. We mentioned last week that we saw that there were many articles. We feel it inside of our branch, inside of our office, that things are starting to pick up. Things are starting to get busy. We're starting to see more deals come through. Interest rates actually dropped a bit from where they had peaked out last year. So right now, in this small dip in time, we do feel like it's a really great time to get something locked in. And we said, if you wait too long and everybody starts to get excited again and gets out there and starts buying homes, you're going to find that you're going to start getting into those competitive markets where you've got multiple offers per property. So we were trying to get ahead of the game, get ahead of that curve and say, hey, now is the time, get pre-approved, get yourself started, get yourself looking. So what I did was I started watching as the articles come through, and I get them in my emails every day. And since just last Wednesday, I've already received 4 articles from 4 different places, all with headlines that I'm going to read to you guys. And this is why I'm telling you, you got to do it. So here's one that I received from NBC, and it says mortgage demand jumps as interest rates drop. So it literally says weekly mortgage demand jumps 7% as interest rates drop to the lowest level since September 2022. Okay, so what did we say last week? We said get yourself started because you're going to end up in a competitive market that if you're a first-time buyer and you've got a low down payment, you're trying to get in, with a first-time buyer type of loan, when there are no offers on a home that's been sitting on the market for about 100 days or 90 days, you've got a lot more opportunity to get your offer accepted, possibly get the seller to pay some closing costs, help you buy that interest rate down. As soon as it starts to get into a market where people go, hey, things are turning, it's time to jump in again, you're going to find yourself in that competitive environment where another offer may come in with a 20% down, a 30% down, possibly even an all cash offer. And now they're not looking at you anymore. And it does make it very, very difficult to find yourself getting an offer accepted and getting into escrow. Here's another one that came up, another article. This one came out from SoFi. So it says, this is just an update from SoFi. Analysts say this is a turning point for the housing market, and it gets into the home builder confidence. So again, the show last week, Heather and I talked about home builders starting to, get those permits again. They're starting to get ready to build. So, home builder confidence, change is gonna come. That's exactly how they write it. Change is gonna come. It's coming, you guys. It is coming. If you've been thinking about buying a house, you got to do it. Get yourself pre-approved. Get that started. Here's also within that same article from SoFi, mortgage buy downs, the latest real estate trend. Well, we've been talking about buy downs on this show now for about a year, maybe a year and a half. We started talking about it before it was popular. So I'm going to take some credit and say Mortgage Mom started telling everybody to do it and they all jumped on the bandwagon. So, it's just a really good time. This is a good time. There's homes that have been sitting. If the home is listed for sale, it's because a seller needs to sell. Nobody is selling their home right now that does not need to sell. So if it is for sale, it needs to go. If it's been on the market for 30, 60, 90, 100 days, which is possible because everybody came to that stop, your chances of being able to get an offer accepted, get some closing cost credits, and be able to get into a really great deal while interest rates are down under the highest point, which was September 2022, I think it is a really, really great time for you guys to do that. Remember, all the analysts said as we were reading through all of the different news articles, a couple weeks back, that they anticipate interest rates are going to be anywhere between 7.5% and 8.5% by year end. So this is a really, really great time for you to do that when, if you can get a seller to help you, if you can get Mortgage Mom Radio to help you, if you can get Heather Real Estate Services to help you, and we get you into interest rates that are down into the fives, those are fantastic, normal, average interest rates. And I want to make sure that you guys all hear that, because that is not something that we've all grown accustomed to. We've all grown accustomed to 3%, 4%. Those aren't normal interest rates, guys. Those are not things that are normal. Over a 30-year history, normal is 7%. So if we can get you into the 5% range, that's absolutely fantastic. So going back to the news feed, I can see I got a Diggs, by the way, 7. So he is actually watching us on Twitch, which is awesome. I've got one Twitch follower. I swear one of these days I'm going to get one of these gamers to call me and get a loan. He says, hey, what's up? And hey, what's up? Thanks so much for joining. Cole gets on and says, is there any sign of interest rates dropping? And that is a great question, Cole. We actually went through that 2 weeks ago. So if you go back to my YouTube from 2 weeks ago, we went through all of the predictions, where we think interest rates are going, what we're anticipating the Feds to do over the next couple of federal meetings that are coming up to talk about that prime rate. But honestly, I actually just said it a couple minutes before I read your comment. We are anticipating the analysts and the experts in the field. And I'm not going to say, my opinion, I am not a financial advisor, but my opinion, having done this now for about 28 years or so, started in 95, my opinion is that I do think that interest rates are going to continue to climb. I think that we got a nice quick drop that we were not anticipating. I think it's a fantastic time to lock in an interest rate right now before they do go higher. But if you were to ask me what my crystal ball is predicting, the Mortgage Mom Radio's crystal ball, which is not absolutely 100% accurate by any means, I would actually tell you I would anticipate that we will see interest rates at about 7.5% to 8.5% by the end of 2023. And then I do think that getting into 2024 and throughout 2024, I think we'll see, interest rates start to come back down. But remember, a lot of people have in their mind, well, I'll just get into a house right now, then I'll refinance later. And, I think the mindset is, well, it's only going to take about 6 months and then interest rates will come down and then, I'll refinance. However long that it takes us to get to the top, it's just like losing weight. However long it took you to put all that weight on, it's going to take you that long to take it off, right? Like a lot of women get pregnant, have babies, and they're really upset with themselves when 2-3 months after they had that baby, they're not back into their fighting weight. And if you talk to any doctor and a mom that's done it 3 times, I can tell you that if it took you 9 months to put it on, it's going to take you 9 months to get it back down or get it back off, sometimes longer, right? So, my personal opinion would be that, we started seeing interest rates start to climb at the end of 2020. They were definitely on that escalator in the upward motion throughout all of 2022. I think that we're going to see that upward motion through 2023. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see that maybe in September, last quarter of maybe 23, maybe things start to slow down. But then they need to neutralize. They need to kind of, sit for a minute and kind of gain their spot. and then we'll see them actually start to come down. But you're talking 15, 16, 17 months that it took to get there. So, if you really think that interest rates are going to come down super fast, I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that 2024 end of 2025, maybe mid 2025, maybe we'll see interest rates, at no points, not buying anything down. Maybe we'll see interest rates, around that 5% mark. But again, I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody does. This is just me giving you the best opinion that I can possibly give you from the years of experience that I have in the industry. So I hope I answered that question. But again, please keep putting them into the feed. I am more than happy to answer them out loud or read them out loud and answer them for you. I can see my dad jumped on during the last break as well. He says, "Hi guys. Hey Dad, we said congratulations to you and Debbie. Very excited for you. Can't wait for you guys to tie the knot." Anyway, with that, we're going to take a super fast break and then we will be right back.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Institutions and NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom.
Mortgage Mom here. Have you been thinking about buying your first home and you just don't know where to get started? Well, book a phone consultation with either one of my loan officers or even me. How do you do that? Well, go to our website. Go to mortgagemomradio.com. Right there, you'll see a book phone consultation and get on the books. Talk with us. Let's get you started from beginning to end. We'll walk you through that process. That's mortgagemomradio.com.
She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call Mom.
Hi, this is Debbie Marcoux, host of the Mortgage Mom Radio Show. And as you know, I'm always trying to make sure that my listeners are saving a buck. Well, there's a new store in town. It's called Runaway Soul. You can go to their website, runawaysoul.com. What do they carry? Well, they carry all of those hard-to-find sneakers, Nikes, Jordans, Adidas, as well as hats. So if you're a sports fanatic and you love those baseball hats, check out their team hats that they have online. And they're also carrying collectibles. So Hot Wheels, Legos, Funko Pops, you name it, they've probably got it. So go to their website, check them out at runawaysoul.com. All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and it is Wednesday, and we are live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So if you have any questions whatsoever and you want to put those into the feed, this is an interactive show. I will read that question out loud and I will answer it for you. Anybody who is joining us by podcast, watching the YouTube later, listening by radio over the weekend, please remember that if you guys want to get interactive, you want to be part of the show, and you want to know when I go live, you have to text the word MOM to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. All you have to do is text MOM. That's it, just the word MOM. And it will opt you in to get one text message per week when I go live so that you do not miss the show. You can get interactive and you can participate, ask your questions, and get your answers. Now, if you're a little bit shy, you don't want to do that, you work a job that you can't stop and do it around 1:30 in the afternoon, please call the office, get yourself an appointment, go to the website, mortgagemomradio.com, schedule yourself a consultation. You're going to hear from me, Heather, Heidi, Carrie, one of the girls. We are going to talk everything that you need to know. We're going to go through with you. We are going to give you that consultation and make sure that we're getting you set up. So if you're not ready quite yet, we're going to give you tips and information to get you ready, things that you might need to do. If you are ready, we're going to tell you, hey, you're ready, so let's get it started. And, if you just want to know numbers, we're going to answer those for you. So any questions that you might have whatsoever, book yourself a consultation, call the office and get a direct transfer. If you're calling over a weekend, leave a message if we don't answer immediately. It is the weekend. Sometimes I've only got, one girl answering calls, and if she's on the phone and she misses it, then just leave a message and she'll call you back. So how do you do that? Well, it's the same phone number that you text to opt in. You're going to call the number. It's 844-935-3634.
3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. That is going to get you to the office. You can text mom to that number to get yourself opted in to be able to listen to the show live. And if you guys want, you can go to the website, mortgagemomradio.com, and you can book yourself an appointment right on the website. Now, if you forget the radio, you're not getting the real mortgage mom, the trademarked, licensed mortgage mom. You're not getting her. So please don't forget the radio, mortgagemomradio.com. So Willie actually, let's see, I got to go back two more. So Espolen Locos, which I think I finally pronounced it right. He gets on and says, yeah, and gives me a bunch of fire signs and thumbs up. Hey, man, I always say my dad's my biggest fan. Then I'll say my mother-in-law, Karen, who is, got another comment on there. She's my biggest fan. You guys are my biggest fans. You're my family. But I got to say, Espolen Locos, you are my biggest fan because every single week you pump me up, you tell me I'm gorgeous, you tell me I am beautiful, and you make me feel fabulous. So thank you so much for always joining in and being part of our show. Willie, Karen says, congratulations to your dad and Deb. Thank you, Karen, and I'm sure my dad's listening, and so is Deb, so they can hear that. Willie says, I'm considering a house in Oklahoma. So, Willie, I actually need to check Oklahoma for you. I can't answer that question right out the gates. So I am not the mortgage mom, Debbie, personally licensed in Oklahoma, but I do feel like one of the girls on my team is. So that is definitely something that if you want to send us a direct message, you can send me an email to Debbie, DEBBIE, at mortgagemomradio.com. You can send me an email directly, and then I can actually give you that answer later, confirm it for you, or get you sent off to the right person who I would refer you to for Oklahoma. You're also welcome to go to the website, mortgagemomradio.com, and there is a contact us button where you can send me a message through the website as well, and then I will reach back out to you. But definitely contact the office. I feel just deep down in my soul that one of the girls has Oklahoma as a state that they can help you in. So please reach out or call the office. Claudia says, I have been contemplating about applying for a HELOC versus refinancing. Which is a better option right now? So Claudia, that's actually a great question, and one that many homeowners have been contemplating, and they don't really know what to do. And it is confusing, and it is difficult to try to figure out which one is better for you, right? It's so tempting to think that, your current interest rate on your home today is probably somewhere in the 3s, maybe 2.9, right? It could be even lower, 2.5. I mean, it depends on when you got that mortgage. But it's really hard to feel like if I do a refinance right now, I'm going to double my interest rate. And that is a valid feeling for sure. What many consumers like yourself may not be aware of is that because home equity lines of credit are tied directly to the Federal Reserve prime rate, those equity lines of credit are adjustable, and those interest rates that back in early 2022, if you had called me and said, hey, I want a home equity line of credit, and I had offered you an interest rate of 5.5 or 6.5 or even 7% back then, that was a great interest rate. But now, because the Federal Reserve continues to increase and bump that prime rate, we are starting to see these equity lines of credit anywhere in the 9s, 10s, 12s, 15s, depending on your credit score. Those interest rates are getting really, really high on those home equity lines of credit. So depending on what the balance is that you owe on your current mortgage and the amount that you are trying to pull from the equity line of credit would actually determine what is the best option for you. And that's not something I can actually answer the question without knowing more details. And it's something we can definitely do quickly over the phone. We can do it through email. We can do it however you feel comfortable if you want to reach out. But we need to know, how much do you owe on your current loan? What is your current interest rate? How much are you looking for in an equity line, or how much cash out are you looking for in hand? then I have to actually run, or one of the girls has to actually run your scenario. What is your credit score? How much is your house worth? What is your loan to value? We're going to figure that out. And then we're going to price that equity line. So where would the interest rate be on that equity line? So if you want 100,000 and that interest rate would be 15%, and I'm just giving examples right now. I'm just throwing this out there. That's not what I'm telling you you're getting. But let's just say your credit score is 640 and you want $100,000 and your loan to value is 80% with that $100,000, and that interest rate we're going to quote you is 15%, and you owe $200,000 on your mortgage and your interest rate is 4%. When we blend those interest rates together, there's a very, very good chance that an actual brand new refinance would be the lower option. But let's say that you owe $600,000 on your mortgage and you want $100,000 out, then chances are that that equity line of credit is probably your cheapest way to get your money. So we really, really have to talk to each individual person about their particular scenario to make sure that, we're putting you in the right product. We don't care if you do an equity line. We don't care if you do a full refinance. It doesn't matter to us. We want to make sure that you're getting the product that fits you best. And the only way to know that is for you to call us directly or email us, give us your details, and then, we'll reach out to you. So I hope that answered that question. But if you have any more, please don't hesitate. Put it into the feed. I'll read it out loud and I will answer it for you. Heidi says, unfortunately, we are not approved in Oklahoma. So Heidi, thank you so much for checking into that for us. I don't know if you checked the full website or just in our little team, but it sounds like we are not in Oklahoma. So Willie, if you want to know where to get your financing in Oklahoma, reach out to me because I have friends and family all over the place if we can't do it. So I'm more than happy to give you a referral of who you should call. So I hope that you guys are getting everything that you need in this show. Again, I want to remind you that it's interactive. Again, I want to remind you guys that you can call our office. You can talk to us. You can get your consultation. You can either book it on our website. You can get a direct, immediate transfer if any one of the girls on the team are free, me included. If we're free with our time, we're not on the phone, we'll take that call. So you call the office. It's 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. If you're loving the show and you're watching it at a later date and you wish that you could be part of it, you could ask your questions and get into the interaction with us. Make sure you use that same phone number and text the word MOM. And if you guys have more questions, we have got tons of tools for you. I haven't mentioned this in quite some time, but we do have a phone app. You can get that from the website. If you don't see it, I'll send it to you. Not a big deal whatsoever. But if you text us and you say phone app, I will send you the link to download the phone app. It is not the same app that you find in the App Store. Mortgage Mom Radio does have an app in the App Store, but that is for somebody who is applying for their loan and moving through the process and closing, signing disclosures and doing all of that. Our Tools app is fabulous because you can run payments. It's got calculators. You can watch YouTube. You can call our office. You can do all kinds of things with this Tools app, but you have to actually get it from me. There's a link that you can get from the website, or you can text me to that same phone number, and all you have to say is phone app, and I will make sure that I send you the link, and all you have to do is click on it and save it to your home screen, and that is it. And you have got all of the Mortgage Mom Radio tools you could possibly need all at your fingertips. It's awesome when you're out looking at homes or when you're window shopping on all of the different realtor.coms and Zillows and Redfins, whatever your favorite real estate window shopping app is. It is nice because you can actually get an idea of what your monthly payment is. It's going to calculate that mortgage insurance if you don't have 20% down. It's going to calculate that mortgage insurance if you're doing FHA versus conventional based on your credit score. If you're a vet and you're looking at what would my loan be, you can actually put in there whether you would be exempt or not exempt. And so that way you can actually see what your financing would look like. It will calculate the property taxes, the homeowner's insurance. It will calculate it all for you. So the phone app is really great. It's got an affordability calculator where you can put in what you earn, you can put in what your monthly debts are, and it's going to give you an idea of how much that you might qualify for, to just, if you're trying to just kind of get your feet wet for the first time. It is awesome for somebody trying to do a refinance. There's a calculator on there as well where you can plug in your property taxes current, your current homeowner's insurance that you have. You can plug in how much money that you are looking for in a new loan, and you can put in an interest rate. And this, for all of you listening, buyer or refinance, if you're not sure what interest rate to put in, all you have to do is contact us, which right there in the phone app is going to let you do. It's going to actually say email Debbie, email Heidi, email Heather. It's going to give you the whole list of everybody that you can email. And all you've got to do is send us an email and ask us the question. We'll get a little bit of details from you, and we'll give you an average interest rate that you can plug in there just to start getting some idea of numbers. So once again, all you have to do is text us phone app. So it's the same phone number for everything. It's 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. Phone app. That's it. 2 words. PHONEAPP. Phone app. That's all you got to text, and you will get a link to be able to download onto your phone the Mortgage Mom Radio Tools app. So I hope you guys do all get that, because it is a wonderful, wonderful tool. All right. So Heidi says, unfortunately, we are not approved in Oklahoma, and she did it for the company. So there is nobody inside of our company that is approved in Oklahoma. So once again, Willie, call me and I will make sure that we get you off to somebody fantastic. And Claudia says, yes, I need to call you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Claudia, you are very welcome. And again, if you're super busy, look at guys, we get this all the time. And I want to mention it. If you have questions, you're sitting and I do it. I personally do it, which is why I know it is human nature. You're laying in bed. It's 9:00 at night. And that is when you finally get to turn everything from the day off, right? So no matter who you are or what you're doing, if you worked that day, you had kids and extracurriculars that night, you had right now it's just almost tax season. You're starting to gather paperwork up. You had a birthday party for, your sister's kid, like whatever it was that is going on. We're all busy throughout the day. We think about it maybe once and we go, oh, I gotta ask that question. I'll call later. And then you forget. And then you lay down in your bed and you go, oh, forgot to call. And it's after hours. So number one, I am super fast with email, and everybody on my team is, and I'm not going to promise you that at 9 p.m. you're going to get an answer from us. But if I'm awake and I have my phone in my hand and I see an email pop up, I'm going to typically respond. And I go to bed anywhere from like 8 to 11, depending on the day. So number one, sit down with your phone. When you're thinking about it, you have time to relax. You have time to breathe. And make a list in an email of all of the questions that you have. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Mortgage Mom. Hi, team. However you want it, it doesn't matter. I have the following questions. My name is so-and-so. I live in blank. I'm looking to buy a home in, or I'm trying to refinance my house, or whatever that it might be. I have questions. And give me a list. 1, whatever that question might be. 2, whatever that question might be. 3, can I buy a house with 0 down? 4, are there any first-time buyer, down payment assistance programs? 5, how can I get, I've got a VA loan eligibility. I haven't used it before, but I don't have any money for closing costs. What should I do? Whatever those questions are, I've got a problem with my credit. This came up before. I was told no on a different mortgage I was trying to get. This is why they told me no. Whatever those questions are, sit down with your phone, open the email, Debbie@mortgagemomradio.com. And I want to remind everybody that mortgage is spelled with a T, 2 T's. Many people misspell it. I don't get the messages. I get a phone call. Somebody's angry. I didn't respond. Remember that mortgage is MORT. GAGE. So Debbie at mortgagemomradio.com. Put every single question that you might possibly have in that email while you're sitting and you're breathing and you're thinking and you're relaxing and you have time and nobody's rushing you and nobody's hurrying you and you don't need to get dinner on the table. Put it all in the email and send it to me. If I don't reply to you that night, sometimes you might have like 15 questions, and then it's easier from a computer to be able to give you the answers underneath of each question, from the computer versus a phone. But send the email. That is going to make sure that you get a response and you get the answers to your questions, and I'm more than happy to do that. Now, number 2 reason why some people do get aggroed with me, even though I did reply, is that many times the first time that I send you an email, because the email is coming from a company, for whatever reason, through all of the different email filters, I might get filtered out and sent into your junk or spam box. So if number 1, you haven't seen a response from me within 24 hours, check that junk or spam box. If you don't see it there, call my office, send me a text, do whatever you've got to do. Trust me, we are going to reply, and super fast. I do not miss a response. So you text me 844-935-3634. That's 844. We lend for you. WELEND and the number 4. You can text me there. You can call me there. You can email me at debbie@mortgagemomradio.com. You can opt into the show to make sure that you can watch us live every week by texting that number, the word mom, all by itself. If you want the phone app, you can text phone app and you'll get the link to be able to download the tools onto your phone. And if you want to ask any questions, you are always more than welcome to do so. So with that, hold tight, one super fast commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Institutions and MLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom.
Mortgage Mom here. Hey, if you're a homeowner, you've probably got some equity in your home. Do you have debt that you need to get rid of? Well, give us a call. Let us take you through that blended rate calculator that I always talk about. Let's determine if it makes sense for you or if you should keep what you have. How do you do that? We'll book your phone consultation. Go to our website at mortgagemomradio.com and you can book your call right there. Once again, that's mortgagemomradio.com.
She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
Hi, this is Debbie Marcoux, host of the Mortgage Mom Radio Show. And as you know, I'm always trying to make sure that my listeners are saving a buck. Well, there's a new store in town. It's called Runaway Soul. You can go to their website, runawaysoul.com. What do they carry? Well, they carry all of those hard-to-find sneakers, Nikes, Jordans, Adidas, as well as hats. So if you're a sports fanatic and you love those baseball hats, check out their team hats that they have online. And they're also carrying collectibles. So Hot Wheels, Legos, Funko Pops, you name it, they've probably got it. So go to their website, check them out at runawaysoul.com. All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom. And I promised at the beginning of the show that I was going to talk about investment property interest rates. And so I've got about 8 minutes left of my 1-hour show. So I do want to jump into that. I don't want to leave anybody hanging who was waiting for the information that I didn't provide the answers to. So here we go. So it says for an investment property. So, and I don't even need to look at that. I know it. So for an investment property, I want to make sure that you guys realize that interest rates are higher on investment properties. And I think most of you do know that. It is not actually because of any particular lender. So it's not like you come to me and I decide that I'm going to charge you just more because it's an investment property. It's actually coming down to us from Fannie Mae and from Freddie Mac and from the investors that we're using to write those loans. They are determining what the risk is that they're willing to take or accept
for an investment property purchase or refinance. So one of the things that I want to make sure that you guys realize is that it can get very, very pricey to do those types of loans, which is why when you get a rate quote, you might fall over not realizing that that's really how high that interest rate was going to be. And when you were looking and researching and seeing properties, that the interest rates were not going to be similar to what you were going to get on your own purchase if it was owner occupied. So I want to make sure that you guys understand how those interest rates change. So let's just say, for example, that I take a really good borrower. So I take somebody that has an 800 credit score. They're putting 30% down payment. They're buying a single family residence, not a condo, not any units, not a duplex, a 2-unit, not a 3 or 4 unit, but a single family residence, 800 credit score, 30% down payment. What are the adjustments that they're going to make coming all the way down to us from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to pass on to you, the borrower, right? So number one, for credit score, you'd have no adjustment over what the owner occupied interest rate would be in the scenario that I just gave you. However, if your loan to value and the very best case scenario with the 30% or more down is what you have, just the simple fact that you are an investment property is going to add 1.125% to the pricing. So that doesn't mean that the interest rate goes up 1.125. That means the pricing, what it costs for that particular interest rate. So let's just say the going rate's 5.5. Let's just say, and let's pretend there's no points or anything on that. This is just an example. And let's say that's an owner-occupied interest rate for an 800 credit score and a single-family residence with 30% down. That same exact interest rate for somebody that would be buying that same exact scenario property would be 1.125% in cost. So if you are buying something for $500,000, and let's say your loan amount is $500,000, that's going to cost you about $6,100 to just for that same exact interest rate as that owner-occupied person would get. So it does make that interest rate, when we're talking about no points and we're quoting on a rate sheet, it takes that 5.5 up to, 6.5, let's just say, or 6 3/8 or 6 3/4, right? It changes the interest rate because of the cost if we're not passing along the fee that's included for the risk adjustment. So where it starts to get really, really costly is when you don't have an 800 credit score, you don't have 30% down payment, you're not buying a single family residence, you're buying a condo or a duplex or multiple units, then the adjustments start to add up. So for example, if your credit score is a 760, and you're putting 25% down, there's a 0.625 adjustment just for the credit score. Then the investment property adjustment with the 25% down and the 760 credit score is no longer 1.125 points, but it is now 3.375 points. So 3.375 plus 0.625 is a lot. I mean, we're talking over 4.5 points, right? Is the cost. So 4.5 points for the same exact interest rate as the owner-occupied guy at 0 points. So what does that do to the rate? Well, it takes that 5.5 up to 7.5, 7 3/4, right? It takes it up, it skyrockets. So I don't want to get you away from buying investment properties. I still think that it's fantastic, but I do want to make sure that you're very, very in tune with what kind of interest rate that you should be expecting before you start going down that rabbit hole of purchasing an investment property. I think investment properties are awesome. I think it is definitely something that you should be considering, but I think that you just need to make sure that you have the education, the understanding, and the knowledge that it is not the loan officer that you're calling that's just making that interest rate crazy. It's not the mortgage company that they work for that is making that interest rate crazy. It is getting passed down from the top And they are risk adjustments for the fact that they're investment properties. They're not owner occupied. And the first thing that people let go when they can't afford to make a payment is something that they don't live in. It is something that they don't need. So that goes the same for investments and the same for second homes. So again, if you have more questions and you want answers, all you got to do is call us. More than happy to answer them for you. I can see that Michael Manriquez jumps on and says, can you use home equity to buy a second home or an investment property? And what are the risks? So you absolutely can use home equity, but you do have to get the cash out. So whether you pull a line of credit or you do a refinance to get the cash in hand, you have to get the cash. It's not like we can say, well, he's got this much equity in this property, so we're going to transfer it over to this one. You have to actually get the cash in hand. So you would have to do the refinance or get yourself a line of credit to get that cash to go buy the other one. And then what are the risks? So obviously the risk would just be that you're putting more debt on your home that you live in and that you own. And can you afford it? Are you willing to take that risk? What if you lose that other property? Now you owe more, on the home that you currently live in. We do it all of the time. It is a great way to get the cash that you need to be able to become an investor and to go buy investment property and to get started with that real estate portfolio that many wish that they had for retirement. It's just a matter of you, and if you're, are you ready to do it? Are you ready to do it? So anyway, I have to finish the show. We're at our hour. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll be back again next week at 1:00. Talk to y'all real soon. Bye-bye.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.